What is up, Cowboy Nation? It's your boy Cowboys Fan 0406 coming at you with another fucking video. Alright, so we all know the fucking botch job the fucking Falcons did. I'm not gonna even get into that. That's not even worth talking about. Especially a week after, 5 days after the Super Bowl. It's just there's nothing more that I can say that anybody else hasn't said already. It's just me regurgitating the same shit over and over about how the Falcons gave up a 28-3 lead and all kinds of shit, whatever. I'm not even gonna get into that. Football's done with. It's over. It's time for off-season talk. But before I get into off-season talk, I'm also gonna let y'all know that I just keep disappearing. Sorry. Let y'all know that this channel is a sports channel. I know my name is Cowboys Fan 0406, but I'm also, since football is done with, I will be talking about off-season stuff here and there. But now I'm going to be switching to basketball. I'm from San Antonio. The Spurs, I got to talk about my home team. You know what I mean? So, but for the most part, I will be talking about Cowboy stuff and whatnot. And what I want to talk about right now is the shit that I've seen on Facebook. And it's not, normally you hear rumors of people talking about trades or who they're in the running for, because let's be honest, everybody's in the running for a certain player or a player or whatever. Now, whether these rumors are true or not, it makes no difference, because you know what, let's face it, Adrian Peterson, anybody's in the running for him for the right price, you know what I mean? But let's get one thing straight. We know the Cowboys are going to get, these fucking rumors are ridiculous, some of these. And now the Pierre Garçon rumor, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't understand why. If he does come here, if we somehow did get him, he's 30 years old. He's not worth big money, a big money contract. He's not. He's on the back half of his career. So I really don't think he's worth big money, or he's a great player. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying he's not worth, at 30 years old, he's not worth big money like the way Dez is, or the way Julio Jones is, or Antonio Brown, or anything like that. He's not worth that kind of money. Not at 30. Okay, but that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. What I wanted to talk to you about was the shit that I seen on Facebook today. It was Myles Garrett, Texas A&M's #1 rushing attack. Defensive end. Sorry, getting mixed up with my words. Pleading and basically begging Jerry Jones to trade Tony Romo and whatever to the Cleveland Browns to get that pick. Now, I'm not going to speculate and say, hey, you know what, it could happen or whatever, because that's none of my business. All I'm going to do is say whether I think it's a good idea or not, and whoever wants to chime in and say, on my comments and say whether I'm retarded, stupid, good idea, not whatever, go for it. This is a discussion that I want to have with, all my fan base, all my subs that follow me and shit. So, Myles Garrett wants Jerry Jones to trade Tony Romo and a couple of draft picks to the Browns for that #1 spot. Is Myles Garrett worth that? I'm an A&M fan. First and foremost, I'm an A&M fan. But when it comes to talking about sports and certain things, just because I'm a fan of a certain team or I would like a certain team, I'm not gonna have a biased opinion. That's furthest from the truth for me. If I think a team's great, I'm gonna talk about how great that team is, whether it's my team or not. So with that being said, from what he showed in his collegiate career, I think he might be worth it. But again, that means nothing when you get to the NFL. Because we all know Brian Bosworth, Ryan Leaf, that fucking lineman that the Packers, the offensive lineman that the Packers picked back in the early 90s, or the midnight, whenever it was. You know, they had great collegiate careers, and then they get to the NFL. I mean, all due fairness, Brian Bosworth had, for what he played, had a decent year-and-a-half career. He had a decent year-and-a-half career, you know? It was decent. If he had played longer, you know, a full 8, 9, 10, 11 years, who would have known what he would turn into? But, you know, right, those are considered busts. And, like I said, just because he had a great collegiate career doesn't mean anything. But to me, he stood out above everyone else, in my opinion. Watching A&M play, you know, I watched a few of their games, you know, over his collegiate career, and I do honestly think that he's worth that, because you know what? If he happens to not be what we picked, I mean, who are we honestly going to get at the 28th pick that is going to start right away and make a solid impact? I honestly don't think anybody. I think by the time it gets to the 28th pick, you know, you got your decent, you have your good to middle of the road players left by that time, because all your picks, all the great picks are picked between number 1 and 15, in my opinion. I get it. You have some top picks like Ryan Leaf and, you know, these other, like I said, the other guys I named that just come out being busts. But, you know, when you do your scouting reports, you do your scouting on them, your top players are in the top 15, in my opinion. That's just me. That's just what I think. Like I said, at 28, I mean, we need to focus on defense. I see a lot of people on, you know, my Cowboys pages that I follow and whatnot, talking about how they want a wide receiver and this and that. No, we don't need wide receivers. I get it that we have Bryce Butler or Terrence Williams to sign. Honestly, Terrence Williams is a hit and miss guy. He's not always there, you know, always in the play. Bryce Butler, when Des Bryant went out for 3 games, he stepped up. He stepped up big time. And in my opinion, I don't think we need another wide receiver. We just need to sign one of those guys. Our main focus is our defense. That's what we need. You know, back when the Cowboys had their Great Wall of Dallas back in the early 90s and mid-90s, we never had stellar shutdown corners. We had good corners like we do now. We got good corners, but we never had stellar shutdown corners. You know what made our corners look great? Was Charles Haley and that defensive line, Ken Norton Jr., those guys rushing the quarterback and putting pressure on the quarterback. That's what made our corners in the secondary great, because we've always had a good, like, either safety or free, you know, one of the safeties, either free safety or strong safety. You know, we've had one of them. Okay, Darren Woodson, we had him, and then when we had Darren Woodson and Roy Williams, you know, those were great. But we've never had shutdown corners. And like I said, what made our corners good and better was that pass rush that we had in the 90s during our Super Bowl runs. And in my opinion, we need to get a pass rusher. We have good corners. We have good corners that can hold their own. But let's get one thing straight. These corners, no corner can run all day with fucking these wide receivers in the league now, while Tom Brady and whoever else is playing quarterback has all day to throw. No. That's why we need to get a pass rush. That's why, in my opinion, I think Myles Garrett is good enough and worth the Romo and a couple of draft picks. That's just what I think. That's my take on it. Y'all get back to me. Let me know what's up. I'm out, guys. Peace.